Here's everything that you'll need: a hacksaw, a 12-inch diameter funnel, 20 inches of 3/4 inch thick braided fiberglass rope that has been washed with laundry detergent, scissors, tape measure, marine epoxy or sealant, landscape fabric, a lighter, PVC pipe cutters, leftover irrigation line tubing, the cutout bucket lid, and our actual drain gauge that we pieced together from part 1. First, using the hacksaw, carefully chop off the bottom half of the 12-inch diameter funnel. The cut funnel should sit like this in your drain gauge. As you can see, the PVC pipe runs into the side of our funnel, so we're going to have to cut that out using our PVC pipe cutters. Cut out a square just large enough for the PVC pipe so that it may be exposed. Next, using a pair of scissors and a tape measure, cut out 2 circles that are 10 by 10 inches out of the landscape fabric. Make sure to cut out a hole in the center of these circles, just big enough so the braided rope can fit inside of it. You'll also need to cut out 10 randomly spaced smaller holes throughout the 2 landscape fabric circles. We'll also need 2 other 10 by 10 inch landscape fabric circles with no holes cut into them. Grab the leftover irrigation tubing and make sure that it's at least 8 feet long. It can be longer, but it just has to be long enough to run from the bottom of the drain gauge all the way up to the surface in order to collect water samples. Feel free to add some marine epoxy around the plastic irrigation elbow to add some extra strength. Heat up one end of the irrigation tubing with a lighter. This makes it much easier to place the irrigation tubing onto the plastic irrigation elbow. In order to prepare the fiberglass rope, you'll need a bowl, a sheet, your 20 inches of fiberglass rope, and some laundry detergent. Start by putting some water and detergent into the bowl. There's no fixed amount for the amount of detergent needed, it's just enough to make the water soapy. Dunk the braided rope and swish it around and let it sit for about 20 minutes in the soapy water. When the 20 minutes is up, rinse off the braided fiberglass rope, place it on a pan, and set your oven to 400 degrees. Frequently check on the rope and pull it out of the oven when the rope has turned a light tan color. Once your piece of rope has completely cooled off, you can go ahead and begin to unravel it. I cut this piece of rope actually shorter than 20 inches because I didn't want to have a very long wick sitting in my bucket. So this allows for more water to be sitting in the bucket without having the water get reabsorbed into the wick and back up into the soil column. So for a shorter rope like this, I'm going to unravel about 6 to 8 inches of it. Once you've unraveled the rope to your desired length, thread the rope through the middle hole in the bucket lid until you reach the braided and unbraided part of the rope. Use any leftover marine sealant to secure the rope to the bucket lid. When the marine sealant has fully dried, begin to unravel the unbraided sections of the rope. This may take a while. Split the unbraided, untangled pieces of rope into 2 sections and thread those sections through the middle hole in one of the landscape fabrics with multiple holes cut into it. Split up one of the sections of rope and separate all of the rope pieces in that section. Randomly drape these pieces over this layer of landscape fabric. With the other section of rope, split up the smaller unbraided pieces of rope and thread them through the smaller holes in the second landscape fabric circle. When all the pieces of rope have been threaded through the small holes in the landscape fabric, drape those pieces over the top of the second landscape fabric piece, just like we did with the first landscape fabric piece. When you're ready to install your drain gauge, place the bucket lid piece with the landscape fabric on top of the funnel sitting on top of your bucket, and put about a 1-inch thick layer of silica flour over the top of that. Place the other 2 pieces of landscape fabric without any holes on top of that, and you're ready to install. Alright, you've just made your own homemade drain gauge. Stay tuned for a video on how to install one of these.